The development of startups is important in Africa because Africa's got really large-scale problems, so we need large-scale solutions to fix them. And startups are amongst the most effective ways to create solutions and scale them really quickly and impact as many lives as possible. In addition to this, they add new energy into the economy, right? This is the thing about startups. More competition, more fervor, generally younger people, which is an important demography to include in any economy. Look, if you're struggling to get funding, it's not uncommon. I think the first thing to say to every startup founder that's struggling with funding is everybody struggles with funding. The second thing to say is funding is a credibility and a reputation and a relationship game. So you can have a great business, great deck, and a great team and technology, but you've got to be able to build the right relationships and you've got to be able to build the right reputation. So if I was advising a startup founder today, I would say build relationships, in particular with funders, and manage your reputation so that you're able to access capital. Oh man, that's such a hard question because I love all of Africa. I find West Africa fascinating, but incredibly competitive. People don't understand just how tough it is to build a business in West Africa. And it doesn't matter which part, whether you're in Nigeria, Ghana, Guinea, Conakry, Gabon, it really doesn't matter. Try to start a startup in Niger. I mean, it's extraordinary, the level of innovation and ingenuity that you need to operate in those markets. I love the speed with which the East Africans move. I mean, in Kenya, before the conference is finished, the website is built, the landing page is up. The first MVP of the app has already been in development, and I love the organized nature of Southern Africa. South Africa specifically, they take their while, they build things intentionally, build deliberately. They're not as quick off the mark, but when they move with a lot of speed and with a lot of resourcing. So I don't know where I would be, but I do know that wherever I would be home. I think the one thing we have to change is the relationships those of us who operate in the world of startups have with policymakers. I think to date what we've done, myself included, is we've sat in our little corners and we've done what works, and it's worked so far. But we're now reaching critical mass, and we're now building the kind of startups that are impacting other people, which means we now need to bring into the conversation policymakers. The challenge is that we presuppose policymakers make poor decisions. Often they just make the decisions based on the information they have, and we're not presenting them with a different set of facts. So it's very important, I think, the next iteration for us is to get around the same table. Startup owners, early stage, growth stage, exit stage, together with policymakers across all of the strata, we have to be intentional. About as intentional as we started being 10 years ago dealing with capital owners, we now have to do the same thing with policymakers.